to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me today. My name is Hannah, and today we are going to do another true crime, mystery, mysterious type video. The other video I did isn't really true crime because technically no crime was committed, but if you want to check that out, I will link it below or have it annotated at the end of the video. But today what we're going to talk about is a very frustrating and mysterious case, and it is about the missing persons case of Brianne Wolgram. And again, I have notes right here, so if I'm looking down, it's because my notes are right here. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Brianne Wolgram today, and her full name is Brianne Ruth Wolgram, and she was actually only 19 years old when she went missing, and the details of her disappearance are very vague and strange. And even now, 10 years later, 20 years later, it's actually 20 years later, even now investigators and police haven't released a lot of the details of the case. But I really want to spread awareness about this missing persons case because I know the family is still determined and still looking for Brianne. So I want to shed some awareness, even if it's just a little bit. I don't have all the details, obviously, neither does the family, the friends, all of that kind of stuff. So Brianne is from Canada, and like I said, she was 19 years old when she disappeared. She lived in a town called Revelstoke, which I believe I'm saying that right, is in British Columbia in Canada. So this is a Canadian case. She lived with her mother and father, but she had two older brothers who were not living in the home at the time. So family and friends described Brianne as being a pretty normal girl. She was really shy and timid on the outside, but once a person got to know her, she was super bubbly and fun, and people described her as having a really great personality. She was super funny, of course, once you get to know her. I'm a lot like that too. I'm really kind of shy and timid on the outside, but once people get to know me, everybody says I'm like a comedian. I should be a comedian. I constantly cracking jokes, puns, all that stuff. So from what I gather, she's a lot like that in personality wise. And they also said that she would occasionally drink at parties, stuff like that, but she was never one to do drugs or do anything crazy. She wasn't an excessive partier. She was a pretty mild-mannered person. She didn't do anything super crazy. She cared about her family. She loved her work. She wasn't like a crazy party girl who didn't do anything other than party, Brianne was also reportedly really involved with sports. She loved being outside. She loved being active, being outdoors, like I said, and she had some really big dreams ahead of her. She was not upset or sad with her life at all. Nothing that would make her want to run off. She had big dreams of going to college and excelling in her job. She wanted to get married and have kids one day. So she was really forward thinking. She was really looking toward the future, which is something that you wouldn't typically see in someone who ran off or would hurt themselves or do anything to mess up their lives. She was obviously very happy with the way that her life was going, and she had some really big plans ahead of her. So, that's a really good sign that she didn't just run away or something like that. So like I said, Brianne really loved her work. She actually had two jobs. She worked at a McDonald's and at a gas station, I believe. I'll have to read this because I'll have to read it off of my notes here because it says exactly where they were. In my research, I found that she worked at the McDonald's and the Old Frontier Super Save gas station, which were both located on the Trans-Canada Highway in Revelstoke. She was described as being a hard worker. She really liked her job. She was always working hard, trying to do her best at her job. And this hard work at both of her jobs led to her being able to actually purchase a car with her own money, which she was very excited about. Her family and friends say that she was just ecstatic that she was actually able to purchase a car for herself. And it was a 1989 black Acura Integra with gold rims. And her family and friends, like I said, they said this thing was her baby. She was just ecstatic. Like, nothing made her happier. She took so much pride in being able to buy this car herself because, like I said, she worked hard. She had 2 jobs. She was just overjoyed that she was able to buy this car. And family and friends said she did everything she could to take care of it. She would never do anything to endanger this car. Just like I personally feel she wouldn't do anything to endanger her life because she was very, very happy with her jobs, her family, her friends. She was looking forward to going to college, like I said, so I just feel like she was in a very, very good place when this happened. So sadly, on the evening of September 5th, 1998, things took a tragic turn in Brianne's life. She was last seen around 11 or 11:30 at the 7-Eleven in Revelstoke, British Columbia, like I said. And she was actually seen with 3 women who have not been identified. And I mean, it's just crazy to me that this is everywhere that I read. Revelstoke was described as being a very small town. Everybody knew everybody. It was a small community. And it's just crazy to me that there were witnesses who saw these 3 girls. They were described as younger women, younger girls, you know, I guess around Brianne's age. And it's just crazy to me that these women have still not been identified. Because if everybody knows everybody, and this is a small community, wouldn't it be fairly easy to identify these people? I realize it was later at night, it was probably dark, but still, if you were there, you imagine the glow of the convenience store, you can make out pretty much what people look like. Even from afar, if I see somebody in my hometown where everybody does know everybody, even from afar, if I just see half of a person's face, I say, oh, that looks like this person. And then as I get closer, I either confirm or deny it's that person or it's not. And usually I can pretty much tell just by looking who somebody is. So it's just weird to me. If this is this sort of small, tight-knit community, it's just weird that they wouldn't be able to identify these people. And Brianne was last seen wearing a pair of blue jeans, a white t-shirt, and a pair of black sandals. And the reason that people started to kind of initially get concerned was because Brianne was supposed to be meeting some friends for a party. I believe this was like a Labor Day weekend, so it was a long weekend or something, and they were going to have a party to celebrate the long weekend. And when she didn't show up to the party, her friends were concerned because they just thought that was really uncharacteristic and really odd for Brianne to not show up when she explicitly said that she was going to be there. So obviously people were concerned and they went to look for her. And so actually, the day after Brianne disappeared, a man who had been hunting that morning came forward, and he said that he had seen a woman who matched Brianne's description, her height, weight, physical appearance, all of that kind of thing. He said that he saw a woman matching her description walking along Echo Lake Road, which was outside of Revelstoke. And actually 5 days after Brianne disappeared, authorities did find her car and a lot of her belongings, and it was 30 kilometers south of Revelstoke up Echo Lake Road, just like the hunter had said. So it's a pretty good possibility that the woman that the hunter saw was Brianne Wolgram. And like I said, I'll have to read this right off of here because I don't know how to pronounce these words, but the car was in the general direction of Akalkalex Falls and Rivers. Tell me if I'm saying that wrong, I don't know. Akalkalex Falls and River, I believe the car was like headed toward that way, but it was like abandoned on the side of the Echo Lake Road. So it was abandoned on the side of the road, but it was like headed toward the falls and the river. And if Brianne was kidnapped, which there were no signs of foul play in the car and just nothing around to suggest foul play at all, if the motive would have been robbery, none of her belongings would be in the car, but her wallet was in there, her driver's license, and $200 cash was left in the car. So personally for me, I do not believe that if someone took Brianne or kidnapped her or what have you, I do not believe that they would have left that stuff in there if their motive was robbery. So, like I said, there aren't a whole lot of theories or evidence that's been released to the public. So it's kind of just really frustrating and really unknown what happened to Brianne. I personally do not believe that she left of her own accord. I don't feel like she would do that. By all accounts, by family and friends, she was happy, she was healthy, she was looking forward to the future. She was having a really, really good time in her life, and it's just so sad that we don't know what happened to her, because I know somebody out there must have been a witness. I just feel like there had to be. It kind of baffles me that there's not more information about this case, because this case is almost as old as I am. Actually, it's probably, yeah, it's almost as old as I am. I was born in July of 1998, and this case obviously starts in September of 1998. It's almost as old as me. I'm about to be 20 in July, obviously. And it's just crazy that there is not that much information about this case. I mean, the main sources of the information, I think I found a news site about it, and I found a blog by Brianne's family and friends giving the general details of the case, but there was so much information that I just feel was left out. Like, I feel there has to be so much more that we're not being told, and even the family and friends say that they're shocked that this information is not public. There's not a lot of information about the case, and I just know that there has to be more that the police are not releasing, that people are not saying, witnesses are not coming forward, and I just feel like that's really hindering this case, because I know somebody had to have seen what happened, heard what happened, known somebody who's seen it. There has to be somebody out there who knows what happened to Brianne, and they need to come forward. Family and friends are not giving up. They're not just letting this go. Obviously, Brianne's parents are, they're worried sick. They've done all that they can do, and I think they even hired a private investigator at one point to figure out what happened, and just turned up nothing. And she can't have just vanished into thin air. That doesn't just happen. Like I said, family and friends of Brianne have not given up hope at all. They're still, carrying the torch, keeping the charge to find Brianne. And if you or anybody you know knows anything about Brianne's disappearance, if you think you know anything, if you're not sure, if you think that you may have seen something, heard something, please report it. You can contact Crime Stoppers of Canada. You can contact the Canadian missing children thing. I will have the phone numbers listed below, but I'll also read them. For Crime Stoppers, you can call 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 1-800-222-8477. The MCSC email is tips@mcsc.ca, and the Missing Children Society of Canada, which is the MCSC, their phone number is 1-800-661-6160. That is 1-800-661-6160. So if you or anybody you know think you may know anything about where Brianne Wolgram may have gone, if you think you saw something, heard something, please report it. Every tip helps. Anything you can do. We want to bring Brianne home to her family. Everybody's still hoping and praying that she's alive, but even if something terrible did happen to Brianne, her family needs the closure of knowing what happened and knowing where their daughter went. So, like I said, if you know anything, heard anything, I will leave these numbers and stuff, the emails below. I believe that you can leave anonymous tips, so if you're worried about your anonymity, just go ahead and contact them. They don't need to know who you are, I don't believe. So, like I said, if you know anything, please contact any of these resources that I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I think it's really important to spread awareness about missing persons cases, and I'm even going to be making some videos about some solved cases, because if we do not learn history, we are doomed to repeat it. So I think it's important to hear cases, to remember these victims, to potentially bring these people home if they are still missing, and I just want to help spread awareness. So thank you guys so much for watching again. Like I said, contact numbers below. All of my resources for information will be listed below if you guys would like to look things up for yourselves. Dig a little deeper in this case, that is totally up to you. But anyway, thank you guys again for joining me today. Leave me a like if you liked the video, comment down below, tell me what you think about this case, but please be respectful to the families or the family of the victim. Let's try to bring Brianne home, guys. Subscribe if you want to see more true crime videos like this, missing persons videos, and sometimes I make videos about tattoos and beauty, so please feel free to subscribe. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.